So yeah, I don't really know what happened with my last video. It's failed to share. I don't know if it was because like of whatever tags I used, or whether or not it was because like no idea. Um, Either way, it was having issues, so there was a gap in my story. But now I'm going to start back off of what happened after I had moved down to Mississippi. Um, at this point, I had I had perception um, on what I was supposed to be treated like. Previously, when I lived with my grandmother, I didn't really have any issues when it was stable and we lived with her because like I went to Catholic school. Like I went to sea camp. This is like this little thing that they do down in the south where you could go and they take you out to a like ship island and you learn marine biology, and they go over all of that, and it's really cool because you get to learn a lot of new things, and I really enjoy doing that and learning about the like horseshoe crabs and sharks and the various fish, and it was really cool. Uh, but second time I went to go stay with my grandmother, I was 12, and I had more trauma, so the PTSD was real and it was an issue, and I wasn't aware of what that was or how that would manifest or how any of that really looked. So it turned into ODD, which is just a. I'll have somebody on here speaking, or I'll talk with them and they'll explain this. But it's kind of like your authoritarian or whoever you're supposed to look out for you is giving you directions, and they're trying to counsel you or make sure that you follow the right path, but you kind of just don't really accept any of it. And the ODD causes like you. There goes my co-host. The ODD causes you to like kind of like fight everything, and everything just seems like it's wrong. And like for the first, I'd say like 3 to 6 months, I masked fairly decently. I might be overestimating the amount of time that this was. It might have been a lot less actually because I definitely didn't make it to summer, and I'm pretty sure it was still cold. So, and I may have started the next school that I went to. Um, I don't know if it was in the middle of the school year or at the beginning. Now that I think of it. Anyway, we'll get into that. So I went to Mississippi, and my emotions were like way all over the place. I was super sensitive. Little things would set me off. Um, in school, I was good for a bit. I believe because it was the attention I was getting. I got to make a lot of friends that way, and I was kind of a class clown, and I was very witty, and I pushed my teacher's buttons all the time. I got really good at that, and I was just very good at manipulating others. I guess is the bottom line of that, either emotionally, usually just emotionally, because I learned how to basically survive that way was to find out how to play someone in a way that de-escalates everything and you stay safe. But it goes the other way too. You learn how to push people's buttons and just kind of see how much they can take. And I would do that with teachers. Just I was always disruptive, and I would make me being there a problem. Um, just because I was very combative and I didn't feel safe anywhere. And all my friends, so like they weren't really my friends, but all the guys were entertained by me. They were living in an impoverished area where we were at, and they, I guess you could say, like had some camaraderie with me because they understood because they were all coming from some different types of households, and everything was fine while I stayed there up until a point when I got a really bad idea basically because a series of events had happened where like my I was not taking care of my dog. I had a puppy, and I should not have been taking care of an animal at that age, but I was doing my best. Um, but it all boiled down to like my grandmother was getting mad at it because it was tearing things up, and I didn't understand how to train a dog at the time, and I needed to learn that. And that's just not something that anyone had ever taught to me. I was just given dog that I asked for, and she gave it to me, and I had no idea what to do as far as raising it because that wasn't something that I'd had a skill set in. So the dog was a pain in the butt, feral little puppy, and I was always getting into stuff. Um, I love the dog. I wasn't mad at it. But one day we we were getting ready to leave, um, to go to like church or one of those activities, and she chained the dog up by its leash on the porch in the back porch. The porch was only like maybe a foot tall. This was a medium sized or large dog. It was a lab mix. Um, but for whatever reason, I looked at the dog and then I looked at my grandmother and I was like, I don't want to leave my dog out here because I think it'll like hurt itself or it might not be around when I get home because something bad's going to happen. And I remember saying that this day, and I was like, I don't want to do this. It was the only time we'd ever chained her up. And I was like, for one, she was a solid black dog, and this was in Mississippi, so this could be a contributing factor. But like, man, I was like, dude, I don't want to take her out there. Something bad's gonna happen. And she was like, no, it'll be fine. Nothing's gonna happen. Like, dog will be fine when we get home. So she left with me and we went to do church or whatever. And when we came back, I found the dog outside and it had pulled against its leash, um, I guess until it went to sleep and it didn't wake up, so to speak. And I was really upset. And I was just like, Grandma, I told you something was going to happen. I knew this. Like, I don't know why I knew it, but I knew it. And I'm like, I knew this was going to happen. And she was just like, well, that's what happens, it's just something that occurs in life and you just have to deal with it. And I got angry and I was so mad. And I was upset and I was crying. I had to bury the dog myself, which, it's fine for a boy to do, but just it sucked at the time because I was little. I was only 12, and I got mad, and I may have said some words to my grandmother, and she slapped me. And she'd never hit me or laid a hand on me. And I thought everything was fine and no one would hurt me there, and she did, and everything hurt so bad. So I left, but I didn't go very far. She was like driving after me and apologizing and saying she'd make it better, and she asked me what she could do to fix it, and I was just angry and sad, and I don't know, I reacted. But when she asked me to stop, and I stopped and got in the car and went home, I was planning on leaving. I was just gonna walk and figure it out from there. But yeah, she brought me home, and then I went to the house and was calm, went to sleep, whatever. Next day rolled around, and the days following that, I started getting friends that I shouldn't have, well, doing things with friends that I shouldn't have been doing. Like, I'd go out and drink with a friend. I was still 12, and I was going to his house, and we were raiding his dad's liquor cabinet and getting into his alcohol. I got in trouble for this eventually, but I'll get to that part. But yeah, I just kept making really progressively worse decisions, but in a very short period of time. Until I convinced him that maybe we should go out and do some stupid illegal activities. So I got arrested for this, but we broke into some houses and damaged their property, and we just did a lot of stupid stuff because we were angry and vindictive, and just we wanted to break things. We were both in rough households, and then that's what we did. We went out and basically screwed around and found out, so to speak. And yeah, we got arrested, did our time, and he went out and left and moved in with his dad. And when I came out, I didn't really have anywhere to live, so they arranged in court that I go back to live with my mom in Tennessee. And I'll move on to that story. I was about 13, going on 14.